Fumio. The only length was the daughter of Chongo between magician. Thief is a man walking side by side now shoulder. But he might be in the pirates. Chose this place. A great wit. I did not have not Kyoto. Old Notre Dame Cathedral, which had been scooped, comes a man of Hugo. Be closer compared to such as the Opera of Paris. That skull phantom of the Ruru had been hiding. Is by no means inferior. Unexpected secret border. Like an inverted bowl, under the only chamber of the cupola. The more unexpected, more complex can be. Separated in complexity, down in it to the top, to the left, to the right. But pathway of no Tauchi Liaoning maze, and not are full of it. Pass 'em, and it is back street. Not impassable of sightseeing. Play of the abyss like a place. Storeroom like part of that stack. The craft tool. Looking except the back of that here and there. The open emergency exit door of the passage. Dim. The long corridor of the behind the scenes. The clerk in. As of Mononoke, the wandering is eerily view. There's Wakashi Kyoku criminals. It fled into the maze. Even 2 months in January. Might be able to have safely hidden. Mountain of tension blobbing. A real forest. The background of the chrysanthemum-shaped puppet building. On which there is indeed infinite hiding places. Countless life-size of raw doll. It is garbled in one highway. In the thicket of dim chrysanthemum. What also you can be standing in the eaten unexpected face. That aside, now, the phantom of the Fumio in examples, was nestled the full bloom of the cherry mountain on both sides. It had been over through the scene of raw doll of Yoshitsune Senbon Sakura. The guy that raw doll the way is somehow really alive. I think that thin slightly. The man from the bottom of the mask talked to carefree. Mr. Anyo Akechi is, do you come to somewhere together? Fumio is Nanti there vaguely Akechi. But had Kanzui that it is Eitsu lie. Rashiku or else disturbing. Look asked. It is soon. It is soon. The man also while answering so, was for some reason began to fidget. And, it is how you have to worry about the right of the pocket of the partition in the mantle. Tomo Shirba, as unexpected noticed in Fumio. Doing a hand twin. Seen ascertained what is in something. Fumio is to the blind eye. I was looking perfectly. Wakashi and this man, or mither than to have a pistol. Artificial motor pump for raising the water to the waterfall is. In that over-roar loudly. And the hit the pistol. And I think that nobody noticed would not do. Can become truly a Tsukimiwaru ku. Ooh, this is amazing. Because the man has raised the voice of surprise, and looked up suddenly, in the branches over the cherry tree of artificial flowers that overgrown. Pale face of the fox of the chrysanthemum-shaped puppet Tadnoba had floated on top of the immediately head. Well, I'm scared. Fumio the show scared in fact more, it was nearing stagger to the man in the mask. Do not be scared, doll. This doll. Man turning the hand on the back of Fumio, was set to hug her. I already said, but I was really horrified. Fumio is away from the man, to the left hand of the previous which was placed in a jacket pocket, and focused their attention. She between instant. What man had been concealed in a pocket? It was withdrawn. In texture, it has been found that not a pistol, of metal, but the kind of put things a little bit larger cigarette case. As a not been convicted in the other party. In the cloak of the pocket. Open the case, and look to explore at your fingertips. To those of gauze like, which was soaked in water. It touched a near miss. The tip of his finger. Out of the pocket. Bring before casually face. A kind but unpleasant smell. Sure the anesthetic of strange. Than the pistol. It is much more terrible weapon. Songs have. Beautiful Fumio-san. Rather than kill one I think. There is no difference in estimates to assimilate it depriving consciousness anesthetic. The reason is not to deliver this man to the police officers. But, then, unexpected know the real intention of the other party. Just because had the anesthetic. Not what was Goku, and always harm. If I wonder if you Shitaro. I Rasharu thinking what? Man Rishiku suspicious, looking into the face of Fumio. No, I do not anything. Anyo, I am a little. Tracing the line of sight of Fumio. At that a little retracted from the passageway. Restroom door was visible. Do all likely. Whither? Anyo, I'm sorry but how will you please have this? Fumio took off bulky fur cloak. Passed a man. Case of anesthetic. Long ago. From jacket pocket. Or conversion transferred into a handbag. The man held out his hands, received a cherished likely mantle. Unexpected scolded suit in daily Fumio's. Is rudely way. But, the fact, thus, keep blocking the man's hand. While she is in the dressing room. Was a ruse. My reminded that the example of the case is a loss. Also because entering into the first restroom. Not or that there was a need to. However, in a place which is not out of the reach of man's eyes. But for changing sliding the contents of the case. She, and hide in the lavatory. Quickly, throw a lump of gauze soaked with anesthetic. Tearing the handkerchief instead. Wet to the water of the wash field. Push into the case. The innocent looked to, came back to the side of the man. Apparently, sorry. She, a little show me shame. Et al. But has received the mantle from the man. To the beat, the case of the example. To the pocket of the opponent's jacket. Was not crowded slip Sadoa's. Needless to say, the short walk side by side shoulder. Came to the place you have of a poster with the emergency exit on the wall of the passage. It's here. Ayakachi's in, this is waiting. Say so. Man. In the same pattern as the wall. Hidden door like a, and press the small door. Because it does not over of course key something. Opened without difficulty. The other side of the door, dim, see the long corridor of feeling, such as the play of the abyss. In the corridor, also there is a small door. And you pass through there. Of about 6 tatami mat. But drab small room. On one of the walls, numerous switches line and wires bundled together. In state in which traveling around creeps sinuous. It blinks the building. Overall electric lamp was found to be the distribution chamber. Even though the power distribution room opened at the same time. Braille all of the electric lamp at the time of closing. Because he may be indelible the most part. Electrical clerk. It does not mean you are cut pat here. Man of the mask. Fumio is waiting to enter the room. Close the door smack. Was why got out the key from his pocket. Got down the lock. Era, what you know may leave. Here is Nanny Zakechi. Is not that not? Fumio in was very surprised body. He was staring at the face of the man. Foo, it is Zakechi-san? You, really that person is whether I thought her here. While man is laughing as Tsukimiru-ku. Paying calm. I sat down in the empty box of something that had been lying around in there. So, why such a? Fumio is, while standing in front of the distribution line, as though unexpected withstand the fear, was asked trembling voice. Yusanin, in face to face, is the story to wanted to see. Here is it, my's hidden such you. Nobody palm there is nothing to interfere. Electrical clerk fellow, properly acquisitions since then are. Also come if here, use ally not coconut death. Foo. Woman detectives expected also. It looks surprised like, wouldn't anti-good hiding, and in case of emergency, turn off the switch. Once you have waiting implicitly the hall. Because I do not suka Mariko. The man as cats enjoy the mouse. While admiring the beautiful game and staring, I went to the Shitna Mezuri. Then, you are Rakashian. Foo. It looks like I noticed. But am behind the other hand. Truly as you might expect. I'm a man yous we are looking for. Nosy that Koguro Agechi of you's husband thing is. I'm a man you are traveling around looking become a frenzy. Quote. So, during the day, from the bottom of the door, it was carried out to put that horrible letter. It's me. Now, the promise placed wrote in that letter. Is the place. Because I promise is a man protect sure. In I called you how to. Fumio is surely turned glared at the man. Now, If you try kana man in the fun-face samosa, I should do it with elaborate guy of Akechi. Use it for a hostage. I say do it afflicts him. I was being that you looking at the beautiful face and body of Mr. and I another wish come up springing. Fumio is as was scaring and hard himself while leaning on the switchboard. It was silent. The man in black glasses over her well became the close appearance, while condescending looked up as licking, which also did not say a thing. For a long time, it was followed by a breathtaking standoff. Ho 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 ho. Suddenly, Fumio is as different in mind, because began to laugh. Now, the man was staring at the face of the other party as scaring. Fumio is, it really became a mad even though at the time such he began a carefree mischief. She flashes the electric lights of the entire building, and grabbed the handle of the switch of the original source. The absurd, Dari connected and off, was a toy, and crackling, was scattered as pale spark. Man shouting and see it as up, it had carried out suddenly jumped, Takasukume the Fumio. Difference but to what? The man with the Fumio to Nelson hold, while looking into her face over her shoulder, said in hot breath, I not a whatever, but hey, Fumio will be replied in calm remained for Takasukume. Difference do not laughing. I why funnier. Someone say even come to salvation. Yeah, maybe. Damn it, someone with what promises had been, and what arrangements were made. Since Fumio are paying calm, I was a man, he came to become creepy. I do not they use telegraph symbol. Fumio is still laughing. I'm telegraph symbol. I so what was? The man asked surprised. The eye to the distribution chamber softening. The I so reckon is it s was a mistake. What's Z? Are you aware of the telegraph symbol? Son of a bitch, then is there now? I do so by SOS. In the haunts thousands of people. People can read that simple emergency signal. No, I do not think translation it not even one person. She was Dari connector. Turn off the switch a little while ago is not a meaningless prank. He was a signal to seek a rescue. Lot hole of electric lampes. It was repeating the SOS flashes and crackling. The habit of small prostitute. Do did the taste. But, do you think lose heart it's me with such a thing? Is longer linger unexpected be had. The man was taken out of the container of the anesthetic from the pocket. Which is more and more a last resort. At me, how can you trying to? Fumio the show surprised on purpose. Is the evil stop the root of the cute tongue? The I'll make the doll cannot be the difference of stuck. The man takes out a lump of white cloth wet from the vessel and try to suddenly fusago the mouth of Fumio. He it is. Their hand long ago to fake. I unexpected shark worry a little. Fumio. Even though sit still, but I was not apart from danger. And I'll look at the man's face on this occasion. Began a vigorous resistance, and the monster of the mask, with the beauty of couture. It is an exceptionally mysterious Apache dance. Supple body of Fumio is like the amorous beast, that the liaoning escape is slipping. Man is breathing vigorously, was Oisuga, but the arm of the woman, but are not quickly followed. Finally Fumio was cornered in a corner of the room. She had crouched there, in front of the face, 4 hands rapidly entangled. Finally, white cold castings was pressed in her mouth and nose. At the same time, her hands. It takes a man of the mask, the brute force, and pull with a jerk. Off the string. Mask remained in her hand. Down from the man's nose. It became exposed. Wash. Quote. Fumio is very surprised, I cried under the pressed against the white cloth. Whether she saw anything, or was the face of no lips red bald. But, she is not, you did not expect it? Too late. It's strange that so surprised. It anyway. In this case, in order to get out of the emergency, the unexpected must show lost one's consciousness. Thief is what was pressing on her face. Because he was not fully believed that anesthetic. Fumio is shut your eyes and tired, no longer work. I wanted ya then folded the bone. while man is muttering, "Connect the string of mask," hiding the face. The Fumio became like dead. Teidaku under his arm, when you opened the door, and disappeared into the dim corridor. Olive doll. It referred to Tokawa stage back, in front of Hiroka of entertainment stage. Hundreds of crowd had looked up at the girls of barefoot dance of this mansion exclusive. Instead of socks, painted white powder of flesh, bare feet. Both Fudo and Muchi is like the textile machine, and Pyokan, a matching set, went up flying to the front of the customer to dance in a half. Suddenly, package and electric lamp has disappeared. The first was not suspicious. Everyone rapidly changed the background. This spectacle is every time of the conversion, because it was supposed to turn off the electric lamp. Han says, also whether the background will change. I thought, however, rather than how the echo stage moves, the dancers also still had a paralyzed electricity denjong injuries. All at once to the crackling, like a crackling ghost, has been or disappear with. State in which dancers have taken aback is because the humorous looked. Wan roar has happened to sightseeing seat, but it is also at the moment. Electric lamp was doing crackling also to disappear phase now. It did not occur anymore. Everything becomes brighter with a package. Dance was continued. Sightseeing is at ease. Also watch the girls' bare feet, but only one person in the sightseeing, and realized the meaning of the now of electricity. Dangming dark. There was a young man who felt very anxious. He and the other, the beauty of bare feet, something did not enter the eye, turned pale, and look around, was traveling around here and there and to walk in order to find a clerk. In one corner of sightseeing seat, man of the hall organized engagement of the cap and uniform was standing. The young man caught the man, went stammered, illumination engagement of this stage is where are. Let me meet that person. During the work it will not supposed to be allowed to meet. The man was facing a near to answer Bukirabar. Let me meet bad. Come on. I have happened to something very thing. You. From now an electric lamp has disappeared. But what if I think or something a power failure? There is a terrible signal. Salvation it is very signal to determine the engagement of the man. The excitement face of the young man, but was looking staring, remained silent, and Nasanoso had walked out of that place. Would have thought it was mad. You, because there is no way. Captures the onlooker stood to the side. The meaning of the now of electricity no. Dangshin has been harping explained. Everyone was not intended to take each other's hands. Farmer, shut up. Quote. Eager sightseeing is angry to talk voice or raspy, started ringing now. The young man did not have the island to obsess. He at last become a cry-out phase. While screaming that, not sure of something translation, ran toward the exit. The idea of the precious Fumio also thus I wonder ended in vain. Truly, in the hall, which can be seen the signal was not even one person to the outside. But, off-site too, in the car to sprint on him Kokugi-kan, was my Kogoro Akechi purchase. He, of course, from the car window to run. He stared at the lights shining on that huge round roof. At that time, although the air of the car was just approaching still in Hamacho sides. Round roof of Kokugi-kan's outlook from any distance. The black of the sky, big bella rod, like a China's hat, framing a round roof. Radiation like strange star had been continuous. Oh, what was a terrible sight. The star both is taking crackling and crackling a certain beat. It twinkled all at once. SOS. SOS. With Akechi was immediately realized the terrible meaning. In the dark of the sky, S. Fumio, no Tauchi Liaoning, a huge illusion was blinking. Driver Kun, it is full speed. I have a responsibility. 40 mile, 50 mile, gave us just put out. Akechi is almost feel the physical pain, she cried. Just around that time, in the Kokugi-kan of office, taking care of this box office. S's manager comes hanging one after another. In a strange phone, was taken aback. The first phone, now in homecoming, is from telegraph engineer of a ship company. I look good my Kokugi-kan round roof of the illumination from the second floor. But just now, the SOS to use when seeking rescue from that electric lights were flashing a strange wind. Noticeable we do. Shipwreck 3 times I was also repeated. Although it may be a prank of electrical engagements something. I think that too naughty little. Or nada than happened also something special case. I need your attention for just in case. Quote, he called. After a while, from this time the water station, the same such rebuked the phone. Followed by, looked someone was reported, but apology that our nagging come also from the competent police station. Koguro Akechi has arrived. It was through the thorn in Mr. S. manager was just the midst of the turmoil. When Mr. S is not a more and more Tadakoto. Turned blue. Rabbit nor the corner. The famous amateur detective was invited to put to the office. Akechi is telling the particulars. Because had offered to want to see and base tentatively detected a power distribution room. Although Mr. S was directly guided him to there. Of course, to the hour and minute. The room is empty. There is no abnormality. Located distribution coefficient. In Akechi himself. Digging roots, drilling leaves. When viewed past. Not fully finely hidden. A man of strange mask. Got a large amount of key money. Confessed that the key to the power distribution room was bad. After all, in this room, I was there what? Probably was that signal. Would be the victim trapped. That woman that Fumio of the victims. Was through the telegraph of technology I know. Quote, Akechi is clouded the forehead to worry, it went frustrating. The sudden commotion is increased. Directly phone to the police is over. The clerk who is flying to a certain person doorway. Keeping an eye on the onlookers and out. A person is to Uesawa Wide Hall. Was traveling around looking for it seems Fute a person. From eventually competent police. But police officers of several people rushed. Discussions of the results. Because there is no between the longer 9 o'clock closing. To leave sightseeing is no korazu. And the division of labor. Each doorway. That beholden stricta became 9 and 30 minutes. Sightseeing is not left alone. Leback. Hall kiosk salesman. Actor. Tools hand. Even the clerk other Shitamawari. Was almost home. But, oddly enough, a man of the mask as well. And women of couture seems Fumio. The appearance to any entrance there was no current hiding of. The remaining is given. The clerk was a load of about 24 people. Including the manager, dozens of police officers. It is the Akechi and Kobayashi boy. Each Kadoguchi. Emergency exit. After having it tightly closing up. With the guard of 1 by 1 policeman. Then a 20-something who remain are. Once again, defines the respective charge zone. But was traveling around Hall thoroughly without test base. To be anywhere in the corner. Did not even a shadow of the man. Looking at the place where, not even looking only this. The song who is a long time ago. Will had come out to the outside. When we sue between that many of the onlookers. Even if the watch with much attention. That miss it I because you also. Quote, old police inspector was brought pulling the police force it was said to like gave up. No, I do not think I very much do so too. Akechi is opposed. Thief is a Mr. Fumio. We were lured state people here. Now that was lured. Building of the Kokugi-kan is. In order to carry out a crime. Must be considered to have been particularly advantageous. To the power distribution room the Komu-him is. The final will was not a purpose of. As you know, that guy's a murderer. If pirates can even run away from here. Or the victim. Or victim of carcasses. It is supposed to have been hidden somewhere in the hall. Quote, further consultation results. This time by changing the means. Police officers we are, gathered in the doorway. In the Akechi and Kobayashi boy in 2 people length. Steal the footsteps. And listened. was to be seen to cycle through the wide hall, seeming to have abandoned the other search, the other party to be off guard, or show up, waiting to make the noises. We called it Ioyinbu by that time, and I heard the commotion, because the work nurses' guys of land had been crowded into the office. In the event of order, in the hands of its people, pistol is prepared. Akechi also Kobayashi boy also. Ichitai each is concealed in a pocket. It was starting and at the end of the search. Electric light but was supposed to remain attached yet, as bright if brighter, unpopular. All that was go wrong is, strangely Monosabashi-ku, was eerie. Now venue taken together, hundreds of bodies was a world of dolls both. They, anyone when not seen, or the secretly yawning, seemed that it would be or talking in a low voice. Then, human walking with only two people. Retirement is a view in the doll both Tae. The way has been criticized. Was then Kimigawa Ruka. When staring, any doll also, in each of the pose, secretly breathing, and even blink. They do you see asked the whereabouts of the bandits. Hora, do not you're in there. I might have told me that. Experience have unexpected Kobayashi boy of Toromono also look at how much Sikurung. The fear that comes welled up with the thrill. Could not be what you want to do. He clasped the pistol of pocket, behind the Akechi to ask the force, and walked in a more accompanied manner. Before long, two people, most dim in the hall, and the tree-lined, such as look up, to the place where it has been surrounded taken up in bamboo grove. Went proceed, to a length which is only fake, then the real forest, was strangely terrifying to retirement. Moreover, from I think also over a period of unexpected shade of a tree. The neck of fresh doll, because or looking through the knee, is a feeling that like wandered to the monster mansion. In the forest, Akechi was walking standing earlier, suddenly stopped the foot, since so looking through the darkness of the other side. The boy also ceased frightened standing, looking scary people watermark, and blurred, in a strange place. What is strange is found life has stand straight up, the sides together. What a mistake for a stage of the chrysanthemum-shaped puppet that was likened to the kabuki theater. Dressed in winter jacket, a hood of fur back was shot in Kongmuri. Army officers, and leaning on cedar trees it stood pop. Well, I think that do not strange, and Bing, no way is it, because knowing is a living human being. If you casually passed, like, its officers, started to move Suto as mechanical gimmicks, to line the hands of Akechi Tacha Fusagari. Well, I think up, and see whether shook his hand, and asked the mouth suddenly ear. Was everything or whispered, Kobayashi boy, as creeps, but became involuntarily cold feet, and see, officer doll, as it is, like a fluffy in wind, walk standing ahead. Akechi does not even it with Yinbu example like, a calm, keep up later. But what is no unexpected somehow, boy, was relieved to appearance of Akechi. Rabbit also in accordance corner. After, and a little go, there's an eerie scene of limiting wigwam, of cedar trees that lined, in almost total darkness, broken Tsuchi hut is built, of the garden, on the ground that Shigerua had weed production. Doll of Sakura Hymus. Terrorian pale facial expression, frightened to object. Part-length injuries of the face are illuminated by the dim electric lights. Officer doll, in front of the Sakura Hyme, was standing ceased, his dim shadows in the darkness. Raise your right hand. What pointed to something? It is divided seen barely, ominously flashing. It was also because of the very dim electric lights. In addition, it will be because the doll was made well in particular. Face of Sakura Hyme was scared a ghost of limiting looked like that if I were alive. Hate if more accurate to say it was just like a real human Shinigao. Not or just afraid surprise. If forms of the agony of death agony. A brutally slain woman's moment of expression of death. Kobayashi boy, such as the heart is coming up pushed to the place of the throat. I felt the anguish. I saw a horrible thing. Too much of the horror. The discovery. Even telling Akechi, I saw something like the body of Sakura High marked with an E, which had been completely wrapped in the leaves of the chrysanthemum. The feeling somewhere looked unlike other dolls. The surface is not or smooth. A branch of chrysanthemum was torn off. In the ugly covers felt that was covered. And I think some parts are badly crowded. Some part is. It is full of gaps as was bald. From the gap is something aspiration fat color. Is visible flickering. It certainly clothes of fabric. Doll under the clothing of the chrysanthemum. It is strange that wearing the clothes in your carefully. Hate. Not only it, from Ryu color under the wig of the bulky Sakura Haim. Of looking through it is. But hair of modern daughter was reddish. Wakashian. There is. Thief is killed Fumio-san. My there are those disguised as a doll to Takumi. Kobayashi boy, I felt such as those nightmares. Instead, chrysanthemum-shaped puppet is, or wearing the clothes under the chrysanthemum. In a wig, there is no shibi or have hidden another color of yohatsu. And the clothes, and the street clothes of Fumio's, or not at all the same color. The boy, in extreme fear, in the eyes became nailed. While staring at the doll, I grabbed the arm of Akechi. Akechi is, of course, but had guessed his heart. He is at that time, as the unexpected is not each other to take the fear of Kobayashi boy. He had discovered something more serious. Where you are pointing the bizarre officer doll. The stage of the back of the darkness of the hut. Lanterns blurred and white-clad stood. The lanterns slowly now, but there is changing, and what some sort of another. The spectacle of product house. Commonly used, it has been easy to imagine a trick mirror tackle. Lanterns of the white Gladys, as blurring, was also expected to go turn to the ghost of limiting. But, from after the lanterns go hazy days, it took the bills. The face of the person who came appeared to faint. Dressing up is a limiting the probability. Mugwort people extended hair. Dressing of gray. There is no difference of the familiar to the limiting in play. Even so, although there were lips on limiting. Now, in the face of the person who appears there is no lips. Skeletons look alike. Oh, what was a hiding place. Also looking for anywhere, but should there was no appearance of pirates. He is in the back of the darkness of the bamboo grove. I was not pretending to be the ghost of limiting. Likened the Fumio to Sakura Haim. The idea dressed himself in limiting. Such as chilling. There was a distorted show of criminals. As unexpected make a sound, it depends along and pilfering. With a pistol, but do not shoot. Akechi is, remarks the mouth to Kobayashi. The boy's ear, whispered in either defunct or some of the voice. Two people over the fence walked to the bamboo bush. Opponent it is reflected in the mirror. Whether the real thing is in which side. Unexpected little stick is registration. From the other party in its place. Dim here how there is a convenience which is not visible. Sound even I should be careful. Is no lips limiting, as it travels, drifting eerily in the air, looming fluffy into here. Feet. As you proceed in the dark. A little bit in front of the mirror. A black, hit the line to something like the big box. Thief is standing in the box. By the automatic blinking of the electric lamp. In the table mirror. And appear and disappear. The enemy, separated by a single wooden box right in front of stands. It wrap bag, however, in the case that important, happened to be very clumsy. Unexpected accustomed to things Kobayashi boy. Stumbled on something. That to the black box. He was a little lean. Although not stood a separate sound. Just a little bit. Box shook. Pirates has become sharper of the nerves. It is not should, not feel it. Shadow of the monster that is reflected in the mirror. And I think strangely removed. From the gap between the mirror and the box. A real horrible face. It looked in high, while I think that up. A black box. Shaking moves back and forth. Came fallen in front of the Akechi. Bamboo thicket becomes brighter with a package. Box is lying upward. Electric lamp that had been planted on the inside. Because he bared. Akechi is at the corner of the box. Struck the shoulder. Instinctively Yorokaru. In the gap. Monster in lets you fly. Jumps over the Kobayashi boy. At the same time, Kobayashi was Ladybug was probably pulled the trigger. The sound of the pistol of bread. Monster unexpected Johnning even a little. Far from unexpected bite the bullet. And glued to the right hand of Kobayashi, which took the pistol, while Gishiit began to Zarian after the scorching sun towards the passage. Akechi immediately bounced back, but Trido the bandits. Still pistol is throwing up a smoke snout, looking at the desperate look in the death of bandits that he said it. Also close to the Magakuo of their own pocket pistol unexpected can also be taken out, while hesitant. Monster doll Sakura-hime example, and shot in from the clothing of Chrysanthemum. Pull out. It was Idaku under his arm. The beat to fellow wig had appeared. Sure enough, the modern daughter Yohatsu dresses exactly like the aspiration fat color and street clothes of Fumio. Up, Mr. Fumio is Kobayashi boy of Jiaosheng. And also it was horrible even. Pistol sounded up. Thief remains shot an installment of intimidation. Jumped over the fence. The passage to the cedar grove of darkness have disappeared. Most were events of a moment. Akechi was of course pursued after the directly pirates. But the place's dim cedar trees in the beyond is followed by a stage of the chrysanthemum-shaped puppet that was extremely complex. Hiding places also. Escape road also. But there are countless. I did moved my monster, nor no form shadow. A little while ago of strange officer's doll, it did not appear on the side. Soon, police officers who were surprised by the gunshots rushed, along with the Akechi, but was traveling around looking for the whereabouts of the bandits. To nothing to say, that of the place in which the complex decoration, not found in the Sudden, and Bing, at which much escape hidden. Pirates it, not go out even one step from the hotel is ashore. The exit of the outlet, because of strict lookout as had been left. Search was continued relentlessly, turning the rock of Hera boat, Hagi a wooden floor. I was traveling around looking for the hidden phase clearance of the people. Then, wasteful searches, time that lasted almost an hour. From somewhere, it came sounded loud screams. Hey, hey, of is called as long as the voice in is by Kobayashi boy. And how everything has happened. And everyone sees rushed to rely on voice. Kobayashi. And the partition stood outside the stage of the chrysanthemum-shaped puppet. In the dim corridor, and pointed to the ceiling. As of talking in delirium. Mr. Fumio is Mr. Fumio is. Blurt out with. From there, he looks like a glance inside of a huge vaulted ceilings. But support the ceiling, the radiation-shaped steel frame. That is something down broad and thin blurred. It looks smaller. It is human to shore, and a lady of couture, to cover the entire stage of the chrysanthemum-shaped puppet, in order to get the feeling of blue sky, because had been tense the sky blue of the fabric of one side. But there was no direct light. Tinged a little bluish, moya of such light is the huge vaulted ceilings, as the views of the bizarre dream had been blurred, big the dam, like an umbrella of bone, a steel frame that has spread to the radiation like, and are stared at, but as to the dizziness, and a great height, great sizes, invites the unexpected may say fear. The portion near the top of the steel frame, one of the couture lady, like a pea, its down bra. From shades of clothes, it was found at a glance that the thief as a little while ago is a doll of Sakura-hime fled suffer. Under his arm, Sakura-hime's that Fumio's. Thief Fumio's a lost consciousness. Carrying to tremendous heights, it was allowed to play acrobatics should be horror. And Bing, why I came up with such a ridiculous thing. Not a struggle of the easy task is to increase carry one person human being to that high place. Why it had to be folded such a waste of time and effort. The top of the dome, though love is gaping in the round hole. On the outside, another small roof is attached dress tower. that he had kind of ventilation holes. Thief from the ventilation holes to the top of the roof might try to surate also the Fumios. Bring out his. How that try and then bit unexpected tired the previous idea. Looking at the place where Mr. Fumio was down broad and a place. Unexpected is only when you do so thinking. Now that thief tried to Hakabidaso state people. Fumios is not the killed. We have lost a temporary care. Instead, whether to any beautiful daughter. Because he is not going to a use such as in dead. Every one of the pursuers are took in roughly like that. But, at carrying up to state S. Escorbe, unexpected may feel a bandits that abandoned its purpose in the middle. Thief now, putting K-Catcha Fumios to Escorbe. I was resting tired, because thanks to their I was Su Now Ming. Surprised, Mr. G Dai is intact. Runaway only their length gone was you. Quote, Kobayashi boy has been described by bouncing a breath. What to the outside to where? Ruth, shouted one of the police officers. Yes, from that round hole, it was crawled to the outside. Someone ascended to the escorbate, or there is nothing to help the women. Policeman was Lord Wasu Now Ming looking back the people of pursuers. Some of the pursuers, the double three people, work nurses of out of the Kokugikan had Su. Crushed to death as let's do. High-spirited good happy figure is. Wade through the people, and I think came forward. Rising leisure tasks to the other bottom of the pillar. Move jump from the top of the pillar to the steel frame. Had begun a stunning acrobatics. Wakashi in place. If a catchy has happened, I'm sure it was probably holding back this Shigotoshi. From the front a little. Where are you or were carried out. Did not appear his appearance on the sides. Police officers who even Kobayashi boy also. Passion remainder. He unexpected even notice a little bit of it. Young people, look, but went up high until extended among the long steel frame. How tired indeed, came gradually speed is slowed down. No wonder. The other the neighborhood, in half upside down, also is good crawl the ceiling. He dangerous places. At that time, happened it is a terrible thing. From the top of the round ventilation holes, I was looking into a small face and glance. From between snake is the stone wall like to look into the goose neck. It thief. He is still just above the ventilation hole, he had asked the state. To be continued. Thank you for your viewing. If you like, please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.